Alright, this video is to show you how to now manipulate the data you've extracted from benchmarks. So once you hit open or save, it will pop up just like this. Now, here are student names. I've just named ours A, B, C, D all the way down. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to filter this. Now if you've created your subgroup, your special ed group, this will already come out just the students in your special ed subgroup. If you haven't done that, I'm going to show you how to filter that out. Thanks to David Bach, I was able to learn how to do this. You're going to insert a column. So you're going to go to A, select it, and right click, insert. Okay, now you've inserted a column. And so now you're going to go down the list. If you're in Super Homeroom, all of third graders are here. You're going to go through and pick all your students by picking a 1 next to their name. So that's special ed, he's special ed, she is too, so is she. And you're going to go all the way down until you do that. Okay? Don't forget to select your speech onlys. It's important to monitor your speech only students as they can sometimes present like LD kids later on. So make sure you monitor them and make sure that they're keeping up academically. You also want to put a 1 by class average, school average, district average, and number of items. Okay? You're going to go back up to the top. You're going to go to data. May look different, but you're going to go to data and you're going to go to filter. You're going to want to add an auto filter. Now you see all these arrows have popped up as an auto filter. Now, so again, I'm going to show you, you went to data, filter, auto filter, and then all the little arrows show up. Okay? It may be a little bit different in 2007, but it's still under filter is what you're searching for. You're going to want to sort by, you're going to want to sort the ones because you want it to only filter the special ed students for you because you don't need all these other kids. So you're going to push the arrow and you're going to select 1 because now it's going to select all the ones. There it is. Okay? Alright, now you're going to need to save. So you're going to go to File, Save As, and now this is where I was talking about where it comes up this different type of file. You're going to want to click your arrow right here and pick Microsoft Excel. Okay? You can pick Microsoft Office Excel Workbook or 97 version, but you want to pick something else. You go with Excel Workbook. That's what I'm going to go with. And then you want to select where you're going to save this. So I'm going to go to my benchmark folder and I'm going to type demo benchmark Q1 2012. And this is ELA. I'm going to hit save now. Now don't forget, to find it, you pull the arrow down there. Okay? And then remember where you saved it. So you're going to hit save. Alright, so now you have all your students with disabilities listed here. You want to hide this column A so that it's not a part of your data you're going to report. So you're going to right click column A again and you're just going to hit hide. Okay? Alright, now we want to get information about the standard. So I'm going to show you that in the upcoming video. But so for right now I'm going to show you actually how to edit the margins so everything fits on one page. So you're going to want to go to your page setup. So you're going to go to File. Yours is probably that round thing if you're in 2007, and you're still going to go to Page Setup. Alright, you're going to want to change it to Landscape, and you're wanting to change your margins. You probably want to go down to 0.5 on the left and right. You can go top and bottom to 0.5 if you need to, but you don't necessarily have to. But definitely on the left and right, you want to go to 0.5 at least. You're going to hit OK. Now, you see this dotted line? That lets you know if you're hanging off the page. That lets you know your borders for the page setup. So if you go all the way down, you see I have a lot of room still going down. Not so much going to the right. Alright. Oh, I forgot a step. If you go all the way to the right, there's these 3 columns here, test reliability, standard, and invalid. You don't need those. You can just hit delete. You highlight them and delete them. Or you can delete the columns if you prefer. Okay, so we're gonna now move those columns that are hanging over the edge, but first what we need to do is we need to move the student name. So we're gonna highlight the student name, kind of like your guide over here. Student names, their test scores, the class average, the test numbers, and all that. We're gonna copy that. You can highlight it all and right click, hit copy, or you can hit control copy, and that will work as well. Okay, I'm going to copy this using my keys, my right click and then copy. Now I'm going to go down to the next page because it's going to need to be on 2 pages, obviously, because of the standards, because we're going to list the standards below. So we're going to paste it. See, I found out where my next page was by these dotted lines, and I'm just going to do, you can right click and do paste, or you can do the control V, which means paste, and there's your information right there. Now we're going to go back up to the top and figure out what information to bring. So we're going to go back up to the top. I think these are all reading, so I'm going to take all the language standards, highlight those. Okay, so now you're going to want to control copy, or control C, or right click copy. You're going to go down to where your page was. Okay, you're going to click right here, and now you're going to paste your information. There it is. Okay, so now if you go back up there, oh, we're actually going to have to delete that manually. After you've highlighted it, you just hit the delete button on your keypad. Okay, now it's gone, because you have it down there on page 2, remember? Alright, so if you go back down to page 2, you can see these are the language arts. Okay, sorry. Now we're going to go back to Ed Performance to get the standards written out, because you don't want to waste time on looking up standards while you're trying to figure out which ones you're going to focus on for the quarter. So now you're just going to go back to your tab at the bottom for Ed Performance, wherever you had it. Okay, here we are. You're going to click, and this should be the same as you left it, right? Remember, you exported right here. This is exactly what you're coming back to. You're going to come up to the top here where it says PDF, and you're going to click PDF. Okay, so now it's popped up in your PDF. Above, you'll have your student scores above in red, yellow, green, and all that. But I've come down to where the standards are. It's like on the 3rd or 4th page, depending on how much information is extracted. So now you're just going to want to highlight these standards. You're just going to highlight them, right-click, copy. Now we're going to go back down to our Excel page at the bottom in your taskbar, open it, and we're just going to click right underneath our number of items, and we're going to hit paste. Okay, there are your standards. Now there are more standards on the 2nd page, so now we're going to go back to where we were on Ed Performance, back to our standards page, and on the next page there are some more standards, so we're going to copy those over too. So make sure you check both pages when you're highlighting. Go back to your Excel document, and now drop right underneath that those. Okay. Now, so now we're going to finish the rest of this Excel document, and I can show you how to format. Okay, so now you can remember that these dotted lines mean it's your print area. So what you may have to do, you see how this print is running over, it means that it's not going to print on the page. So you're going to want to look at all your standards and make sure that you loop them around to where they're going to print on the page. So you're going to click this first box right here, because you see how and is overlapping. I can't click there because now and isn't there. It's actually in this first box. You click the first box, you cut and, you highlight and right there. You're going to right click, cut. You're going to go to the next line. You're going to paste it in the front because that's where it goes. Paste, space, and then hit enter. Now it fits on one page. So you're going to go down the line and do that to make sure that all of your standards fit on there. You see how these numbers are listed at the end? I'm highlighting them right there. Those are actually the test question numbers. So sometimes you need to, excuse me, your teachers want to look at the test items, and so that can tell you how many test items were on that standard and which test number. Now when I copied that, it actually doesn't have an extra row to go to. So I'm going to have to insert a row because it doesn't have, I can't paste it in front of the next thing. So I inserted a row by right clicking and hit insert row. Now the row's there, so now I can paste. There it is. Okay. I'm probably going to take the just because it's bugging me that it's not there. I'm going to put it right here on the next line. Hit paste, do a space, and hit enter. Now everything fits perfectly on there. Now, if you don't have 2 pages, then that's just fine. But since in our case we actually did have 2 pages and I moved those standards, remember, to page 2, I'm going to need to move these standards to page 2 as well so that I'm not too confusing to the teachers. So the last standard I have was RF 3.3 something. So I'm going to find that. There it is, right there. And I'm going to take these standards that I already have moved. Okay, so I'm going to highlight them. I'm going to copy them. Remember, Control-C or right-click and copy. And then I'm going to move them down to the page 2. So I'm going to leave a space so it's not too crowded. Click the cell I wanted in, and then I'm going to paste. Control-V. And there they are. Now, I did that so that your teachers aren't having to go back and forth between 2 pages. It's up to you. I'm a little OCD, so I like to make it look like that. Now, don't forget to hit save. We've already done the save as part, so you just need to hit save. Now everything looks pretty. Now you're ready to actually highlight the standards and figure out which standards will guide you in your conversations with your case managers. So you're going to highlight the percentages on the standards, not the test score. You see I started right underneath the standards. You're going to highlight those and you're going to go to Format. Go to Format, Conditional Formatting. If it's blue, I think it's up in the top. It says Conditional Formatting as well. You're going to hit Conditional Formatting. You're going to tell it what cell and in between. You're going to want it to identify any standards that students scored 0%, between 0% and 49%. So meaning that they didn't at least master 50% of that standard. Now, you've typed that in. Now you need to tell it what kind of format you want. Like if you want the font to be different or the color to be different. And what we want is the color to be different. So we're going to hit the Format button right here. Then we're going to go to Patterns. And you're going to pick gray. Since most people don't have color printers, just pick gray. It's up to you, whatever your choice. You're going to hit OK. Now you're going to hit OK. Now you can see per standard which ones students didn't do so well on and which ones they did well on. So if you look, if this was a special ed subgroup, those students did really well on this standard. Your teachers did a really great job of teaching that. I may have some concerns about this standard because there's more gray in it. And so then this is how the guiding questions come up. But I'm going to show you again how to do that gray coloring because don't forget we have page 2 at the bottom. So again, you're going to highlight the standards, not the test score. Format, Conditional Formatting. Between 0%, don't forget your percent sign, 49%. Format, pick your color, hit OK, hit OK. There you go, boom. Again, now I can visually see which standards we did not do so well on. And I can also see the glows, the good things that we've done. Clearly we've mastered this standard. Okay? Now, you're ready to save and print. At this point, you're going to print this for your case managers, and then you're going to move on to the next section of the guiding questions. You're going to look at your standards, talk about visually which ones you didn't do well on. You're going to consider the number of test questions, which is right here, for each standard. Do we really want to focus a lot of energy? It was only one question. This is where it's important, and you have those conversations about that they know their kids and they know how if that's something they want to focus on. You also consider how much weight it has on the CRCT. That's that form that we handed out at Team Leaders. You'll go over, give that to everyone as well so that they are aware of that. Some of the other guiding questions are you going to come back to that this school year? Are you going to come back to that this quarter? Is it something that's within reach for your special ed group at that grade level? On that document in Google Docs that I shared with you so that you can do these steps quicker, Kristen Kulik created that for us. Thank you very much. But I'm going to go to it right now so you can see the guiding questions. So which ones do you have the most gray in? Look at the number of questions asked on the test. Look at the content weight for CRCT. You're going to pick 1 or 2 things to focus on to remediate before quarter 2 benchmarks. And then you're going to say, how can we address this? What are you going to be coming back to it this quarter? And then what resources are you going to use, and how will you do this? When will you logistically fit this in? That's the conversations you have with your special ed teachers, that they know what their collaborative